Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I was thinking to make a video about something that I'm asked quite regularly. It's about the Bruderian process and what it entails and all this new universe of things that are uncommon for most people. And I'm quite surprised because I've already made videos about this. I made video about my process, the motivation, all the transformation, my journey since the process. But as I said in other videos, this was never really this was never an end game for me. This was never really what my channel is about. It happened so that I was in this time in my life where this thing happened, and yes, it was part of my transformation, my path, well, what I'm supposed to do further in life, but was never, I mean, part of, I don't want to go into specifics, but it is part of something much bigger. And I, like with anything else in my life, where I noticed that there is a much bigger scale of things, and that thing is not just, I mean, it's not just about one thing, but it is like how you integrate that in life. It's like I cannot stay there, and I cannot make video just about that. I mean, there are people that just do that. It's fine, it's okay, but it's not what I'm supposed to do. I explore things, I move on, I integrate them in my life and on my journey and what I need to do further, but I don't just stay there, because that would be just, it's not who I am, and it's just then that would be really, for me, it would be annoying and fake and stuff like that. But I know that there's a lot of you that want information about this kind of stuff, because now you're discovering, oh, the new thing in spirituality or spiritual path, which is a path to freedom. And I want to address a few things regarding the motivation of you, as like, why would you do that? Because that's the question, the important question. Why would you do that? But before going into that, I want to say that another reason why I don't really make more videos about this specific topic, well, I include them in my Ascension updates, but basically that's it, is because from time to time, fortunately, this happens quite rarely. There are, how should I say elegantly, there are unripe minds out there that have nothing else better to do but, I don't know, debunk everything and everyone. And they just, this channel is not about being toxic. It's not about being, I don't know. This is a nice place where I like to share things that are unusual, even sometimes unpleasant things, but in a way that it's nice and, yeah, safe and pleasant and appropriate for everyone. So I don't want to have to start moderate every video that I put out there, especially on topics like that, and invite more hate and stuff like that. It's just, first of all, it's tiring, it's exhausting, and the second, it's counterproductive. I just like to be efficient and move on with things. And whoever got what's happening on my channel and what I'm about and what I'm sharing with you and what I'm doing here will understand this, and will know that if I have something to share about this, usually I'm going to put them in Ascension updates. Yes, things will progress, and more people will not be afraid of of things that they don't know and don't understand, they don't have any direct experience with, and they will stop being so threatened about this kind of ideas, or calling people like me, oh, you're fake but you're still eating, because I never said that I stopped eating. From the very video that I made about my process, I said that when I did that, I never thought that I would stop eating after that. It just happened that I didn't expect that it would take me on a journey much bigger than I could have ever imagined. which is, as I said, it's beyond the Bruderian process and eating or not eating. And I just follow the magic, as I say. And I'm not here to just like make somebody, I don't know, to fulfill somebody's fantasies. Like, look at her, she's not eating for I don't know how many days, and then she eats, and then it's like kind of like I disappoint you if I tell you that all of a sudden I decide to, like, okay, for certain purposes I need to eat so I can access certain things inside myself, to clean them. And for some minds this is hard to accept, because, well, you did this and then you go back to this. And I tell you that the process that I follow, it's beyond this like limited box that some of you would like to place things like this in, or me or other people. Of course, everyone is free to do and choose whatever they want in life. I'm just sharing with you my journey, or a part of my journey, because you don't know all of me, all what my life entails. So that's why I don't really make videos about this. Plus, I'm interested in so many other things. At some point, I want to talk about other things as well. Also, as I say in the update, it's like I know that will come a time when the way things are for me right now, even with this going back and forth, being dry and then going consuming something, will have changed so much. My life already is changing so much, but I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm going to talk in the next update, that at some point certain things you outgrow patterns and things, and they don't make sense, so therefore you leave them behind. It's not about abstaining from something or things like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm doing this or that. No, it's not about that. It's about growing your energy and your awareness, and from that point you are just making better choices and things, and then you see, there's more possibilities, so life can exist in a different way. Yeah, to return to this thing that I'm asked all the time, that like you come and, well, you write me, especially via my website, about the fact that you are about to do the process, and you heard that this Bruderian guide does this type of program. So you tell me about, like, oh, I want to do it with this Bruderian guide or with the other, but this one says something and the other one says another thing, so you're confused. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Because some say that I'm supposed to be raw like a week or before going into the process, and you're anxious, and I understand the fear, and I always say, it's like, at least what happened in my case, because at that point I was already vegan and mostly raw, so actually when I started to do that, my body was already like basically clean, but even if you're not a vegan or a vegetarian and all of a sudden you decide to do that, of course, if you are not even a vegetarian, probably it's going to be a little bit more difficult, because the body will have to deal with things that until then you haven't imagined that you're going to deal with. So I suggest 1 to 2, maximum 3 days where you eat very light, and I don't know, probably the day before going into the process, like, do a liquid day, do just water, or water with some lemon juice. I did 2 days with water and water plus some lemon juice. That was it. And then, of course, you do whatever process you want to do. It's like whether you do it at home alone, or with a guide, within a group and stuff like that. Of course, there you're going to do what the others do. So even if I tell you this, then the guide that person will tell you other things. So there's no fixed way of doing certain things. However, and now I'm coming to the actual point of this video, is most of you, I mean, not most of you, all of you that I've until now who wrote to me about this, I never heard once like to ask yourself like, what do I want to get from this process? And that is the stuff that amazes me and makes me even, now even more realize that what happened to me during that process, why I was so different. But also because I made certain choices before that process that led to that transformation that happened then, that is beyond eating or not eating, that has to do more with a bigger transformation, which I don't want to talk about it right now. And I know that most of you focus on the, after this I'm not going to eat. And it's wrong to think that, and I said to you, is like, if you think that the first two reasons as like, I don't want to eat anymore after this, and what else? I forgot the second one. But anyway, this was the thing, that I don't want to eat, or the eating is bad or whatever. Please forget about those things, right? This is not your focus on that. Because, as I said to you, after you do the process, you will meet other obstacles, so to speak, inside yourself. And not just obstacles, you will meet the life that you have lived until now. What does this mean? You will meet the patterns. If you're aware, because this, as I said, everyone does this from a certain point of energy and awareness. So that's why the results are so different for everyone. But if you actually realize that this is something that's, there's a huge change after this inside yourself, which is actually, this happens especially if you do things with the right intention. Because I noticed that now, there's more interest, of course, toward this thing and more openness, well, relatively, but now it seemed kind of like a sport, like, oh, that's the next extreme thing to do. Yes, let's do something cool. And it's not about that. Or like to feel like, oh, I'm going to brag about this because I've done this really cool stuff and now I'm going to look at me. I didn't do that. I explained in the first video why I did it, and I explained also that I tried to do it like from 14 or 15 years ago for the first time, but it didn't happen then. And it happened in 2015, which now is like a little over 3 years. So if you have all these things and ideas, it's like you have to really rethink the whole thing. Why do you want to do it? Because this is no contest. Why? And most of you don't understand that. It's like after you do this and you want to go further beyond this thing, because you can choose to move forward. It's not about like, yes, you can stay at the level where you can extend the dry mode even more. That's not the point. This will happen naturally either way as we reach a certain level of healing and energy and stuff like that. This is basically the future of humanity either way. But now it's more of a voluntary, like a proactive attitude towards a new way. Well, it's not a new way, but it's like this direction. So you should never really think that, to see this just that. You should actually think like, okay, from now on my life is going to change. Really. And even if you don't really realize that, in the moment, when you do the process and it's like, how do I go on from now on? For me, the life has changed. I'm sorry if it's a little bit scattered. For me, the adjustment that I had to do in my life is not the same anymore. I don't live the same life anymore. Even if I go out from time to time, even if I socialize, so to speak, and also I cook for the people in my life from time to time, much less than before. So I made no secret from these things. I share them. I still even have these things on my website blog, recipes from the time when I was actually into those vegan recipes and stuff like that, helping some other people that had health problems. And for me, it was like, oh, come on. It's like, don't you see that it's so easy to get rid of a lot of problems just by having a green smoothie and things like that. I never expected to make this jump. And when I did, because this is what I do with everything in life, I just move forward. Like, I follow the natural progression of things, so I don't stay there. And for me, I explained to you, I reached a point where, because it's much bigger than this, I have from time to time and to clear certain things physically from me, from my body, from inside me. So, I mean, I need to lower my energy so I can reach certain things. I know that this is also a transitional phase, and other things will unfold as we go, as I do the work. And a lot of you, this is what I'm saying, a lot of you don't understand that this doesn't end there after the process. It's like, after I'm done, okay, from now on I mean, it can happen, but I don't know anyone that actually, after doing the process, like, completely stopped eating. Not even, I forgot, Victor Truviano, not even him. For a year, it happened that he went, like, the juices, soups, I don't know, and last month was water. He even lost his teeth and stuff like that. This didn't happen to me. Although for me, I chose this thing where, like, it was like half and half, so to speak. I do dry mode, but I do also some so-called life things. And I'm not sorry, because the thing that you have to be prepared after you do the process is the fact that if you continue on this path, your life will change, and your lifestyle. And how do you include those changes? How do you accept them? How do you deal with those things? That's the thing that most of you don't take into account when it's like, I'm going to do the process. And you do the process, great. A lot of people will do the process and maybe return back to fully eating and saying, oh, okay, it's cool, but I cannot do after that. I cannot live like that because there's too much disruption in my life. And also, I still like to eat, and I still like to enjoy those things. And that's fine. So that's some of the things that you should consider when doing the process. What do you want from it? And most importantly, is like the motivation behind it. Why do you do it? Why do you want to do that? I hope this was a little bit, I don't know, enlightening in regards to certain things. Yeah, that was it. See you next time. Ciao. So magical that it's here. It's not anymore just scattered moments throughout my life.